So here's a tough problem for you. I really like this question because this is a question just on sequences. Now, typically in an exam, you're not going to get a standalone question just on sequences because it's more of a building block for other stuff that comes along later. However, you can still get them, and this is a great example of one. If you don't know me, I'm Sheldon. I show you how to solve mock and modified past exams for first year university math. All right, let's dive into this. So if you've had a chance to think about this, you might see that this might look familiar. So I tell all my students, you have to know this pattern, this limit. This looks like the definition of an exponential. They're going to try and throw this on. If they've introduced exponentials and limits in this course, in the course that you're taking, there's a very high likelihood on the exam that they're going to sneak in a question like this in another topic. So they're going to introduce the definition of an exponential when they define exponentials, but then they're going to use it in other places like evaluating limits and evaluating sequences later on in the exam. And they're not going to tell you in the course that they're going to do this. They're just going to show you on the exam. So I got you, don't worry. So yeah, the question is determine if the sequence converges or diverges. If it converges, find its limit. Okay, so they want to know the sequence here. So they want to know the actual terms themselves, not the sum of the terms, just the terms themselves. What happens to these terms as n goes off to infinity? So let's just click the walkthrough here. And some of the stuff I already kind of explained before, or just now. And the problem is, if you look at this, if you're just trying to think about it, the stuff inside the brackets, this, as n gets really, really large, 2 over n gets close to 0. So this 1 minus this gets close to 1 because it's 1 minus something close to 0. It's not ever 0, it's just close to 0. But then the problem is, this exponent is shooting off to infinity. So as this number gets closer and closer to 1, this exponent is shooting off to infinity, so you don't really know which one wins. Is it getting close to 1 first, or is it shooting off to infinity faster than it goes to 1? So that's why you don't really know just looking at it. There's nothing that just tells you, other than knowing that indeed this is the definition of an exponential. So this is the limit that you have to know. You have to know the limit as n goes to infinity of this expression here, 1 plus k over n to the n. Is the definition of e to the k. So if k was a 4, this would be e to the exponent 4. That's the definition. So in the case that we have 1 minus 2 over n to the n. So notice that it's a minus instead of a plus. So here, if you look at it just like this, you see it's very clear. This is just e to the negative 2. Hope that helps. Great one to know for an exam.